The hour, we're 5 minutes late, but we'll be all right. So my name is Keith Porco. I am from Sinter Incorporated in Kersey, Pennsylvania.
What if you're deaf?
Well, just
You gotta look at those people.
I don't sign. My name is Keith Porco from Sinter. We're in Kersey, Pennsylvania. Sinter predominantly produces lead-free frangible projectiles. We do make our own ammunition, do some law enforcement sales, some indoor ranges, but Fiocchi this year we're partnering with, and they're going to load our flat points, our hollow points, range training ammunition, self-defense duty ammunition. They're going full bore with it. So I'm kind of on loan to Fiocchi for the year to go out and do these live fire demonstrations to educate the public on frangible bullets, because there's a lot of misinformation out there on what they do and what they don't do. Now, a couple of you guys have seen this demonstration before. So when I ask for volunteers, I pick people out of the audience. That's how I get my volunteers. I'm going to show you how the bullets are made, kind of down and dirty. I'm going to show you how they break up when they hit something as hard as themselves or harder. I'm going to show you how they penetrate very deeply through soft tissue. I'm going to show you how they fragment on soft tissue with hollow points. I'm going to shoot some steel close up. If you have any questions, please say so. But this is like my 200th live fire demonstration, so I'm pretty sure I'll answer your question throughout the demonstration. But please, if you have any questions, please ask. So when we make our Sinter copper tin bullets, you can come on up, get a little bit closer. None of this stuff bites. It might blow in your eyes. This is copper and tin metal powder. 90% copper, 10% tin. This is what the bullets are made out of. This is how they start life. It's not a copper strip, it's not a wire, it's not machined, it's pressed. It's metal powders that are compressed under a lot of pressure. They'll go into a press, they'll come out, and they'll look like a shiny new penny, just like that. And when they come out of the press, when these two metal powders are combined, this is what you get. Looks just like a 9mm bullet. And forgive my hammer, but this is the best I could do with short notice. Now you're saying to yourself, well, that can't be right, because how could you shoot something like that? It's soft, you can break it up by throwing it on the ground. Well, our next step in our production process is to heat treat that projectile. So the next thing we do, once these bullets come out of a press, they go right into a furnace. The furnace heat treats them. That 90% copper, 10% tin mixture that we make the projectiles out of, the tin melts and bonds everything together. So again, no jacket, no plating. That's what holds the bullet together. So now it's a lot more robust. And yes, it will break, but it's a lot more robust. So it handles loading, chambering, firing, and when it hits anything as hard as itself, it will disintegrate. But one of the misnomers about frangible is that it doesn't penetrate, that you shouldn't use it for self-defense and you shouldn't use it for hunting. Well, that's total BS, because they do penetrate actually rather well, and we'll get into that. So the first thing we'll do is we're going to use this box. This is what we call a frangibility box. Sinter created this, and it's been adopted by Sammy and Fletzy as a way to determine a bullet's frangibility. So if we fire into this box, we're looking for two standards. One, the bullet breaks up and nothing comes back at us through the cardboard. And two, what size are the bullet fragments? So Sammy says a bullet had to be considered frangible. A bullet has to break up to within 5% of the projectile's weight. So if we have a 100 grain 9mm, we're looking for around 5 grains. If we've got a 175 grain 45 or a 325 grain shotgun slug, they can't hold us. We have to use 5%. So the pieces can be just a tad bit bigger. But it's how they break up versus traditional lead and cup and core made bullets with gilding metal jackets. Those bullets like to splatter, and that metal's actually molten, but it holds together really well, and it likes to come back to its point of origin from the energy transfer. So a lot of times bullets will hit steel plates and they'll come right straight back at us, because that's where they came from. So having a bullet that breaks, it crumbles and dispels all of its energy, it doesn't do that. It doesn't come back to us, and we'll see how that works. So I need everybody to back up. Now the standard that we use, eyes in air, is going hot. film this, please come up, just stay behind me, okay? We're going to shoot pistol rounds. Now the normal standard is 10 rounds. We use in production testing is 10 rounds. Going hot. Gun's clear. Come on up.
At least it's standard is 10. That's what they're going to improve to get approved. 10 to
So that was, instead of 10 rounds, that was about 20 rounds. So now we've got holes in the cardboard, but we've got nothing coming back out at us. This is how we tell that that bullet meets our production standard for being frangible. Then we look in the box. Now some of these fragments look big, but I weigh them all the time. These flat pieces are the nose of the bullet. The powder kind of reforms on itself, and you'll get some larger fragments. But for the most part, it's powder. Now some of these fragments look big, but we'll show you how that works in just a minute. They look big, but it's copper and tin, so it's not heavy. So they can't carry enough energy to do anything to you. They're too light. So typically at the end of the day, when I do these demonstrations or I do a lot of stuff at work, I come home and I might have it in my hair or on my clothes, but I don't ever get a piece stuck in me. And that's what we want, is not to get injured. So we're going to back up again right quick.
see this. I saw it 2 years ago.
Shoot this steel up close, so come on up, Kelly. Come on. And one of you guys filming. You're going to be my other pigeon. Come on over here.
Another pigeon. Good one. Hey, is that right?
You on my left?
Here's why that's a great idea. Exploit black box.
Yeah.
That's a frag store. We'll talk later.
Nope. You're right there. Need you to do hand on my shoulder, so I know where you're at. You do hand on my shoulder, so I know where you're at. Okay, going hot. Have you ever shot steel this close?
No.
Okay, well.
I saw a few come. Yeah.
But again, you ever shot steel this close?
Oh, Keith.
You ever shot steel this close?
No, I will today.
You're feeling it,
I'm feeling it. Yeah.
gun's clear in the hole.
It felt like a little hail.
Yeah.
Little bits of hail smacking down.
The
felt that
projectile
last one.
breaks up.
I felt that last
and
one.
those pieces cannot carry enough energy to come back and hurt you. You're going to feel it. You still need to wear eye protection.
Yeah.
You're going to feel it coming back on you. Now, we recommend in our literature and in Fiocchi's literature, because they're buying bullets from us, at least 5 yards for pistol and 10 for rifle. But for these live fire demonstrations, we get close. We were about 3-4 inches away for the last couple shots with the pistol. So that's the pistol.
Rip my pants.
No, it won't rip your
Rip my
pants.
pants.
I wouldn't do it if it wasn't safe. I've done a bunch of these,
Thanks, man.
and the best way I can describe the sensation is getting hot sand blown on you from the beach. That's about the best way I can describe it. Is you're gonna feel it, but the projectile pieces, the particles, they just don't have enough weight to come back and bite you. They're just too light. So that was 100 grain 9mm, traveling about 1,300 feet per second out of this handgun. So now let's do the same thing with rifle.
Take